Granada Hills, Kennedy High School to be exact, as we present our first El Camino Real prep football game of the 2024 football season. We are at Kennedy High School. We think it's going to be a very good ball game. Kennedy's highly regarded El Camino Real. They have a lot of enthusiasm on campus this year. Hello, everybody. My name is Randy Rosenblum, set to call the play-by-play. These are two football teams that had their moments a year ago. Kennedy won 8 games. They're a city power. They're ranked in the top 10. El Camino Real really started to come on at the end of the year, won 4 football games, and again, they are very excited about this season. Once again, we work with Paul Zabak. We bring Paul in. Paul, I know this is a different El Camino team. They threw it a lot last year, but this season they may run it much more.
Well, you know, you have to look at your talent pool, and you have to be able to evaluate what you have available and what they can and can't do. And right now, El Camino has developed a very good offensive line. They've developed very good running backs, and they've got a very young quarterback crew. Not that they can't throw the ball, they will, but they're going to look at the balance that they present, and they're going to take advantage of what's given to them.
When you talk about the running back room, it starts with Adrian Walker, number 5. He is Mr. Lightning, and they say he's really stepped up from last year when he played a part-time role.
Well, you know, it takes a year sometimes to gain that skill, to gain that confidence, and to gain that awareness of what you need to do when you're running the football. And I think you're going to see a lot of him tonight just doing that, making adjustments when he has to cut, when he's available to do what he needs to do. I think you're going to see that confidence level step up.
For the Kennedy Cougars, their quarterback is all city. His name is Diego Montez. He can run, he can throw, he's very talented.
Well, you know, when you've got a city quarterback returning, that gives your team a whole different level of confidence. And another benefit that Kennedy has with him are the wide receivers. They're very talented. They have the ability to stretch the field, and he can throw the ball, and if they're not open, he can run it. He's got the power in the legs. He's gained some weight over the year, and he's going to be a force again in 2024.
Kennedy and El Camino Real. This is the first of at least 4 broadcasts on LA36 with the Royals. We'll be back with the start of the game. The kickoff for the Cougs and the Royals is next on LA36. Ashlyn DeLate, a young lady, the first girl to play on the varsity football team at El Camino Real, has it teed up, and we're about to commence. El Camino Real kicking off to the Kennedy Cougars. Kennedy, a very strong team, and again, they're ranked in the top 10 of the city. But there is a feeling that this El Camino team is united this year, but they got to prove it on the football field. We'll see how they do. She advances on the ball, and the season is underway. Excellent return. Flag is out. Rhodes going the distance. Finally tackled inside the 10. Amari Rhodes dropped from behind by Lance Wilson.
Well, that was just a breakdown in coverage, Randy. When you look at how the kicking team just broke down, and they just left that gap wide open for that run.
Joe Rice is our lead official, and there is a flag out. So we'll see if this one comes back. A brilliant run by Amari Rhodes. There's the officiating crew with Rice and Keon Bell. Dwayne, we like to call him the Rock Johnson. It isn't the same guy. Bevan Grossman and the back judge. Still sorting it out.
On the kicking team. That penalty is going to be declined. First down.
Penalty against El Camino Real, obviously refused. The kick return stands. Coach Cassidy has to be thrilled with that one. Troy Cassidy, good football player, Chatsworth, but he said, I'm a better coach. Gotta love the field position.
That penalty certainly didn't help El Camino.
Key players, Castro Sears, obviously the quarterback Montez, Gio Nelson, a talented wide receiver. Kevin Gatewood and James Montez in that offensive front. You see Montez also terrific on defense. He's the cousin of the quarterback, Diego. And there is Diego. Starting inside the ECR 5. Talk about advantageous field position. Handoff right up the middle, right up the gut. Sandoval has a touchdown. Jose Sandoval.
Just power straight ahead. It's not real, it's not real entertaining. It's just a straight dive.
Well, that didn't take very long for Sandoval to plunge in after the magnificent kickoff return by Amari Rhodes. We've played 51 seconds and Kennedy's on the board.
Well, when you look at, again, special teams has always been a soft spot for El Camino Real, and it doesn't look like they've made any adjustments so far, and hopefully they'll be able to fix it as they move forward.
Line up. They may go for 2 here. Now they'll go into the normal alignment. And kicking it will be Francisco Ceja. Does all the kicks, all the placements for El Camino's opponent tonight, Kennedy, and Ceja drives it through. And a good start, obviously, for the Kennedy Cougars, who were 8-3 last year. They were 6-0 in the Valley Mission League.
Well, when you look at, again, that experience base, and you're bringing back players from a championship team, and you're going to dominate. You're going to be the force, especially not only in their conference, but in the Valley.
So Sandoval with Painter on that first carry. A one-play drive after the long kick return by Rhodes.
When you look at special teams, it's unfortunate that a lot of coaches don't look at that as being a force in the game, but it is literally 1/3 of a football game, and coaches who look at it seriously are able to save a lot of runbacks.
After successfully hitting the PAT, Francisco Ceja to kick off. Ceja, one of the core of wide receivers that's so outstanding, a quick route runner on the soccer team doing the kickoff duty. So he's a dual sport athlete here at Kennedy. Onside kick. It's a live football. Looks like Kennedy has it. They recover the football. Number 25, Dylan Laxon with the recovery.
Another special teams error, and you know, again, 1/3 of your game is special teams.
What a start. How about that gamble by Cassidy to try the onside kick?
Well, he saw that El Camino alignment wasn't as tight, and as soon as they kicked it, they dropped back, and it just opened it up for Kennedy recovery.
How about field position? They get a kick return to the Cougars inside the 5. Now they get the successful onside delivery. And again, terrific field position for their quarterback. And he usually takes advantage, Diego Montez. Starting from the El Camino Real 42.5-yard line. We haven't played 3 minutes yet. Great protection. Caught. Nelson, touchdown. Gio Nelson.
Well, that's, you're looking at an all-city quarterback and a cadre of wide receivers. They showed a lot of that last week against Harvard Westlake, where receivers were getting deep and they stretched the field, as we talked earlier, and you see the result.
Well, Gio Nelson had a 50-yard touchdown reception a week ago in their scrimmage against Harvard Westlake. Hauls that one in. He caught 4 touchdowns a year ago, 616 yards of real estate, and was all city. So that was all city to all city.
Yeah, that's a threat to be reckoned with. That's what you're dealing with tonight.
13-0. We haven't played 4 minutes. Ceja on again. The lead is 14. Well, mentally, this has to be disconcerting to El Camino Real. Jason Zabalik's going to have to gather the troops.
Well, you're looking at a young team. They're developing. They lost a lot of kids to graduation, and you see the ability of Montez to just put the ball up.
Nelson is a gifted wide receiver.
They've got a couple of them on that roster. He's not going to be alone tonight.
Clock showing down to 7:49 remaining. 14-0 Kennedy. Here at John L. Haynes Field. It's a football team, Kennedy High School. It's favored to win the Valley Mission League again this year. 5 all-city players back. Of course, we saw the all-city combination in Montez to Nelson, but they have 5 all-city players returning.
And you see 0 all-city players on El Camino. So it's going to be a balance, and it's obviously tilted in the favor of Kennedy.
Just a lovely night in Granada Hills. Slight breeze, really a comforting breeze, and a great crowd, certainly on the Kennedy side. Their bleacher on the press box side is basically sold out. There are some seats available on the El Camino visiting side. Another short kick, another ball on the ground. This time it looks like El Camino may have recovered the ball.
Well, that front line has to let the ball go through, and you saw one of the linemen, I didn't get the number, but he tried to catch it.
Key players for the Royals. Cagua, outstanding defensively in the secondary. You're going to like Nick Genovese. Genovese is a powerful running back. Had a touchdown in their scrimmage a week ago against Oak Park. Malik, who plays both sides of the ball. Bocaz, who had 4 interceptions. We talked about Adrian Walker on the pregame. And the return of Rafael Cortez. Excellent wideout.
Again, two great wide receivers for El Camino. They just got to get him the ball.
Starting quarterback is David Molina, the junior. Very long signal count. Walker's in the backfield joining Molina. That'll cost Elko 5.
What can go wrong will go wrong.
On the offense, number 4.
Obvious false start against the Royals.
Again, they took a long time to make the call, and they just literally had their signals crossed.
Well, one thing you don't want to be is behind the chains. Not only are you behind in the game, now you're behind the chains. You wanted to establish a running game. Still want to stay with the running game if you can, but you don't want to lose contact by falling too far behind, and that one's nearly picked. Carter was closest to the football. Javon Carter, the free safety. Guy loves contact.
Well, when you're looking at El Camino's offense, last week they ran the ball pretty well against Oak Park, and they ran zone schemes, and they were able to make yardage. I'm surprised they came out throwing right now. Coach Hayashida is really trying to establish a game plan, and I'm surprised they went away from the run.
Molina's a very hard worker, quiet leader, second year playing football, so he's just a baby to the sport.
Well, the whole team's very young, very inexperienced.
Down 14-0, 6.5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. Randy Roseboom with Paul Zabalik in Granada Hills at Kennedy High School. How exciting is it to have the first game of the year? The football season is here.
Your excitement is overwhelming, Randy. I'm so happy to be part of that. It's contagious to hear you get so thrilled about this.
First possession of the season for El Camino. The offense didn't get out there, and they were looking up at the scoreboard. They read 14-0 Kennedy.
Well, That's why they play the game. Let's see how it moves forward. Anything can happen. That's why the ball's funny shape. It bounces.
But we saw them a year ago at Taft fall way behind and rally back and win it. They were down, I think, 17 in that game and won it.
They were down several games last year, and they were able to come back.
Yeah, that was their moniker.
They rallied up.
Enthusiasm on the Kennedy side. Their coaching staff knows they have a lot of experience. Walker's first carry. He's bottled up. And he lost the ball, and it goes to Kennedy.
I don't know how to comment on that one. I just, you get speechless after seeing so many mistakes here.
Adrian's been so good in the workouts. He was great against Oak Park and first handle of the year, and he loses it.
It's just not going for El Camino right now. The planets are not lined up for him.
Great hit by 55 James Montez, dislodged the football. Of course, he's the cousin of the quarterback, and he was the outstanding all-star a year ago and the best defensive player in the Valley Mission League. First foul whistled against the Cougars. Procedure.
Well, it's first game jitters too. You got to take that into account with a young team. They're going to be a little nervous coming in here tonight, especially that you know, it's going to be everybody watching them.
Sandoval right up the gut. Nice chunk to the El Camino 45.
Boy, he just had a gap in that line, and he was just burst speed. Once he got moving, he was tough to take down.
Kennedy on the prowl once again. Again, we expected a hard-fought battle. And early on, Kennedy is owning the line of scrimmage. Sandoval again with running room.
They just ran the counter, and just opposite of what they ran the first play, and again made yardage.
Tackle from Saeed Tamim. There's Josh Sandoval. First down, so they're able to overcome the penalty. Kennedy's so impressive, a top 10 team in the city this year. Movement on the outside, that's going to cost the Cougars another 5. And again, when you play August football, you're going to have some infractions.
Yeah, it's
on the
again,
offense.
First game, it's for both teams, even though they scrimmaged last week. Nothing changes except now it's game time, and that just puts a whole different perspective and a feel on the players.
At halftime, the two coaches will have a nice conversation. Jason Zabalik interviews Troy Cassidy. You'll like that. And my sidekick here, Paul Zabalik. Zabalik and Zabalik, a little intriguing. Interest into the program at El Camino. They'll talk ECR football. Here's pressure on Montez, and he can really go, can he? Diego Montez down the sideline. First down, Kennedy High School.
Well, we talked about that earlier. His receivers were covered, and he has the legs to break open, and he can scramble in the backfield, and he can still look for receivers downfield, but he just took off.
You see his skills here, don't you, Paul?
There you go. And again, you see the motion, you see the movement, you see the skill, and then he sees the opening and just takes off.
First down at the 16-yard line of ECR. Montez is fun to watch. Very confident player, stronger than he was a year ago. And he was all city. But he's put on some weight. And he's also a sprinter on the track team.
Yeah.
Runs on the sprint relay squad.
Coachman on defense. 5-yard penalty.
Offside will take it down to the 11. First and 5 for Kennedy, already up 14-0. Cassidy's team mighty impressive. Montez. Picks up about 1. That time they bottled them up.
And we talked earlier about El Camino's secondary, and they do have some talent. They do have some maturity in that secondary, and if they can cover, you're going to see Montez run more than he wants to, and as long as El Camino can put pressure on him, they still have a chance to keep him bottled up.
Second down, still 5. They needed 11 for a touchdown. Montez again. Driving forward. Tamim with another tackle.
Again, you look at the option, and Montez has the ability to just keep it and go, and he's going to take care of that. He's going to take advantage of that.
Going to come off. They'll go into their Wildcat package. 3rd and very short. Gio Nelson, that fine wide receiver, already with a touchdown, will be the Wildcat quarterback, and he'll run. Gio Nelson, touchdown. Made it look easy. Already 2 TDs, 1 catching it, now running it in for Gio Nelson.
Again, there's a lot to be said for talent, and you're seeing it on display tonight with Kennedy. Those young men can really put it together, and they're going to be a factor in LA City football this year.
20-0. Seha already hit 2 PATs. Number 13's out there. And festive atmosphere certainly for Kennedy early. I think Troy Cassidy, the head coach of Kennedy, would be surprised by how well his team's playing so far. He expected a tough outing against El Camino. It's a 21-0 game. Seha 3 for 3 in PATs.
Well, it's going to be a challenge for, I'll tell you, for Coach Cassidy to keep his key players in this game. If they keep scoring, again, that's talent. That's just pure skill moving forward, and he wasn't even challenged.
Kennedy is going to score. But when we talked to Jason Zabalk, he knew that the Cougars were going to put points on the board. El Camino is going to have to match him. So, Paul, what do they do here? They have to score some points because it's obvious Kennedy is very, very potent offensively.
Yeah, what El Camino has to do, in my opinion, is that they got to settle down. They got to take a deep breath and just start to execute their plays. Don't make mistakes. Move forward, start the running game, try to establish a running game. They did it last week, and get some momentum. Once they get the momentum, they can then make adjustments on some of the coverages that they're doing. I mean, they're not going to keep Montez down. They're just not going to. There's too much talent there. But they just have to keep focused, and they have to keep positive that they can do things that are going to move the ball forward and maybe get a score.
Well, El Camino will get their hands on the ball again, but they're down 21 already. Seha's been busy.
Yeah.
Again, this Kennedy team went right through the Valley Mission League last year, 6-0. They're favored again.
Yeah.
You know, the top 8 teams go to the open division, and it's really early. Obviously, it's the first week, but you don't think Kennedy is an open division type of team. But after what we've seen early on, they're very good.
They're gonna move up in ranking, and they're gonna move up in competition, and I think they're prepared for it. I mean, they're starting out like they want to be champions, and there's nothing going to stop them. There's the momentum you see. El Camino's finally moved up some people to make a hands team for another onside kick attempt.
Obviously, Kennedy saw something in the film that had them want to go to the onside or pooch kick early. This one was brought in. Finally, Adrian Walker made the play, went down, and ECR's offense will come out and see if they can get something going. 21-0 down.
If you watch the front in the return team, Their first movement is backwards. As they get momentum moving backwards, it's very hard to stop and come forward to catch an onside kick or recover one. Now let's see if they can establish a run game here with some zone blocking.
David Molina remains in at quarterback. You may say Mekhi Friedman before this one's over as well. Another young quarterback. There's a good throw to Cortez. Rafa takes it out across the 40. Hard to bring down. In fact, they can't bring him down. Andrade was draped all over him. And a flag is out.
Unsportsmanlike, number 18.
This foul going against Kennedy. This is a confidence builder, I think, for this quarterback, even though it's a short route.
Yeah, well, they threw a lot of that last week against Oak Park, and it works. And again, Rafa Cortez, he's a factor. He's not giving up, and he drew the foul. You hear the old expression, play till the whistle, and when the whistle blew, the defender didn't stop.
So the unnecessary roughness takes it down to the 43-yard line. It would do ECR well to bounce back and get a touchdown here. Down by 3 scores. They need a positive mark. Gonna have a timeout on the field. A little life here after that throw. 3:43 left in the opening quarter. Again, a lovely evening in the West San Fernando Valley.
Not sure what Coach Cassidy was down on the field talking to the white hat.
We're going to have El Camino in a couple weeks against the North Hollywood Huskies. And one of the former Huskies, Isaiah Foreman, in the secondary for El Camino. They're very high on him. He'll be playing against his former school. But we'll have that one in 2 weeks. From El Camino, we're going to get to see the new field.
Finally, against your old alma mater.
Yep. And again, the teams are going to the sideline.
I wonder what the discussion is. They're not sharing.
You know, last night I happened to go to the modern-day Corona Centennial game in Santa Ana. They had a number of occasions where players came off the field. I believe it was because of mouthpiece. So, or some kind of equipment issue. So repeatedly you were seeing players that would stop the game. One player would come off, another player would come on. So I wonder if it's an equipment situation. Could be a clock situation. It's 3:43. It seems to be okay on the clock as we peer to our right here at Kennedy High School. So I don't think it is a clock issue for whatever reason. Maybe it's back-to-back timeouts. Maybe one coach called a timeout and then the other coach countered. Either way, El Camino Real needs points. Anthony Parham, number 21, has checked in. There he is. It's a balanced El Camino team. You look at him, don't have the superstars, but Jason Zabalk thinks he's got a lot of good players this year.
Well, again, they're going to have to mature and they're going to have to grow very quickly in this league. It's a very competitive West Valley, and it's going to challenge. It's going to challenge these young men, and it's going to challenge the coaching staff. Every week is going to be a battle.
They do have a quarterback, and Arturo Acevedo, who's not healthy, won't play tonight. Probably will be ready to go against Heritage Christian next week, that they're very high on.
Well, you got a young man who's a transfer coming into a new program with a lot of skill and a lot of talent. He played very well last year. And bounced around to a couple schools in his career, and he's going to walk in as a senior, I believe, and he could be a force. Again, we're looking at this league game, and
well, the officials are still conferring. So it has to be, in my mind, a clock situation.
It's a good guess.
It's all we can do right now because we're far away from where they are. And
is he going to announce? Is the ref going to announce what the problem is?
Whatever it is, Troy Cassidy, you said you didn't know what Cassidy was talking about.
Right.
Obviously, whatever he saw, they've tried to remedy. Well, we're in the dark just like you are, but they're holding it up for now. Just about ready to go. 1st and 10, ECR. Again, intended for Cortez, and it was an errant throw.
Again, they're running those quick outs and the quick posts, mini posts as they call them. Again, trying to stay within the linebacker zones. As the linebackers drop, the receivers get open, and again, you saw that with that initial catch, and now with Cortez with the quick out.
So Kennedy's had a couple touchdowns from Gio Nelson in the first quarter. Catching a bomb and then in the Wildcat formation running it in. They also got a score from their running back Sandoval and have bolted to a 21-0 lead. Second down and 10. Quick screen on the far sideline. Excellent reaction by the Kennedy defense. Was caught by Isaiah Foreman, the young man who transferred in from North Hollywood High School.
Yep. Again, they're running that quick out. They're running the fade. They're running the quick hitch, as they call it. I'm surprised Coach Hayashida isn't setting up the run.
3rd and 7. Again, they go underneath. Cortez with his second catch, but that's short of the necessary yardage.
Yeah. Again, they're running those short patterns, but they got to get the distance. They got to know that they have 8-7 yards to get. He's got to set up for that.
Our aerial view here at John L. Haynes Field. Now the 2:45 and the clock running here in the opening quarter, and it's 4th down and about 5 to go. Obviously, they're going to go for it in Kennedy territory.
It's a big play. They've got to keep the momentum.
No play. The whistle sounds as Molina drops back.
Ball start on the offense.
Those are killers, because now you're looking at 4th and 10.
I'd be surprised if they're going for it. They got to put him deep in the end zone here.
Offense is staying out there for the time being. Keep in mind, though, David Molina could punt the quarterback. He is a capable punter. So number 9 has the option, and he will punt it away.
Good. It was a good call by Coach Sadalik.
Well, ECR moved it before they got stymied by the Kennedy defense. And with just above 2 minutes to play in the opening quarter here in Granada Hills at Kennedy High School. Lovely pictures from our LA36 crew. Cougars take over up by 3 touchdowns.
Beautiful shot. You don't have vertigo.
There's Nelson, who scored 2 already in this game. 1 on the ground, 1 in the air. Another good pitch and catch. Foreman makes the tackle as it was reeled in beautifully by Jaden Carter. They love him. He's a young talent, just 14 years of age. He had 4 catches last week against Harvard Westlake.
You know, again, that's part of that receiver crew, and you know, they're young and developing. It's a real talent.
Second and short. Trips to the right. The run right up the middle. And with it is Justin Sears. They like his quickness and his ability to hit the hole. A former wide receiver who was moved to the running back spot.
Well, again, Montez had trips on the right side, and that gave you the whole perspective that he's going to be throwing deep and then hands it off inside. And El Camino was ready for it. Their defensive line is very capable. They just need more experience.
Was good enough, though, for the first down. So Kennedy does move the sticks. Coming around is Amari Rhodes. That's better defense. Terrific job by Anthony Parham.
Yep. Again, you got a young junior player who's got quickness and speed on the outside, and he was able to cut off that outside run. Yeah, here he goes, and coming around, and he sees the block. They made the block on the edge, but then here comes Parham.
El Camino loves their secondary.
Yep.
Athletes in the deep four. Draw. Nice chunk there, going right up the middle. Running hard with the football is Martin Trujillo, second year on the varsity. Productive running back a year ago.
Again, when you've got wide receivers out there, it just opens up your offensive line, and it gives them an opportunity to make the blocks.
Clock winding down. Final seconds of the opening quarter. Flags are up, but it looked like, at least from the scoreboard, that we were down to 3 zeros. See if they wave this off and say it's the end of the quarter. Yep, that's what's going to happen. So they do wave it off. It is the end of the quarter. 21-0 Kennedy.
Yeah, again, we knew coming in that you were going to see explosive Kennedy offense, and sadly, you saw El Camino mistakes. But for those two mistakes, the run back and the fumble, you would have only a 7-0 game. So again, mistakes have a huge impact on momentum and confidence in your team.
Good crowd again here at Kennedy High School. They're enthusiastic. Everybody having a good time, and Cougars look very, very talented and very well coached in the opening quarter. They were precise with their offense.
Yes, they were. And again, they've got a very competent coaching staff. As a matter of fact, I know 3 of the young men that are on that staff, and we were greeted when we came in.
You were greeted. You're getting a lot of hugs from the Kennedy coaching staff. Well, who do you know? Who are some of the guys that are on the staff that you worked with?
Well, I don't want to mention names for fear of forgetting some of them, but we had a great talent pool, and these offensive linemen that I worked with, and they're now in coaching and they're now in teaching, and I'm so proud to see that they've evolved and developed and become very, very capable young coaches.
Sunset was right around 7:30 tonight, so it's still dusk in the West Valley, but now the lights are taking effect at John L. Haynes Field. 21-0 Cougars. First play of the second quarter. Third down at about 5. Fumble. That will cost the Cougars some yardage. It was nearly turned over. Getting there quickly, it was Takaya Campbell of El Camino. He nearly recovered it, but it was taken in by Kennedy, and it's 4th down. So a nice defensive stop by the Royals.
Well, you know, again, you've got an opportunity to turn the clock, and you've got an opportunity to turn the momentum. This is what needs to happen. And El Camino now's got to stay in a drive or two.
Loss of a couple. It's 4th down and nearly 7. Just 45 seconds into the second quarter. First punt of the ball game for Kennedy. And rolls by Parham. Kennedy for a moment thought it might have been touched.
Yeah, it looked like it was almost touched.
Yeah. Will be Royal football. Wonder when we're going to see the second quarterback today, Mekhi Friedman. He wears number 12, pitcher on the baseball team. Good size, 6'2". Eager to learn, but for the time being, they're going to stay with number 9, David Molina.
See if they'll run the ball.
Molina has room and then slides down. Hernando Lopez was in front of him, and smartly he went down.
Well, he has the ability to run too, and you saw that.
See, it's a dust bowl out there, isn't it?
Field hasn't changed in 30 years.
It really hasn't. It just gives the school some character.
Well, get the uniforms dirty.
Yeah.
Shows that they've really played.
Yep. Yeah, if you don't have a dirty jersey, you're really not involved in the game, right?
That's right.
Second down play, and Walker's bottled up again. No chance. Great defensive stand once again by Kennedy. Leading the charge was Kevin Gatewood, an all-city defensive lineman.
Yeah, and Kevin was unblocked, and again, that doesn't help you when you don't block somebody. At least get in their way, and he's going to make a quick tackle.
Royals looking at third down. About 4 to go. Well, Cortez has caught a couple passes already this evening, so you might wonder if they'll go to him. He would be their #1 target, one would assume.
But he's got to get beyond the sticks. He's got to be able to get that position.
He caught 9 a week ago in the scrimmage against Oak Park. Number 19 is a tremendous receiver. He's 1 of 3, and now 4 on the flanks. He's to the near side. And another stoppage in play. Another timeout.
Was that called by El Camino? Okay. They got to get their bearings. They got to make sure they're literally, the cliche, on the same page.
Well, they're looking at third down and 4. I will say this: after falling behind quickly 21-0, mentally they're a little bit more back into the ball game, but they have to get something done offensively.
Well, again, they've got to sustain drives. They've got to come out and they've got to put first down, and that gives them confidence. And you're not seeing that. Coach Ishida, he's the offensive coordinator, and he's calling pretty much scattered plays, and there's not consistency in the play calling. But we'll see if it changes.
Well, it's tough to be consistent against a defense that has 2 tremendous players, James Montez, 55, and number 50, Kevin Gatewood. Montez was the defensive lineman of the year in the Valley Mission League a season ago. Fans having a great time here at Kennedy High School. They know where the camera is.
Yeah. Not that they're playing to it.
3rd and 4. Will the Royals convert? Throwing underneath, and a good catch by Cortez coming back to give him the first down.
Well, he got beyond the sticks. That's what he had to do.
3rd reception of the first half for Rafa Cortez. As a pass catcher, as a route runner, there may be no one better in the West Valley League. He is gifted as a wide receiver.
Yes, he is. And they just got to get him the ball. And once they do that, that's going to open up the run game.
Of course, last year they had Jake Shirley, who caught 70. It's a big number, but Rafa's capable of doing the same. Lincoln Elbert deployed to the right side. He wears number 11. Hard-working player up from the JV a year ago. For Foreman, it's picked off. Tejeda with the interception. David Tejeda. So on the deflection, Tejeda has the interception.
He just threw the ball up. The receiver was pretty well covered, and not sure why he threw it.
Kennedy's making all the play.
And again, you see it here. He's he's just covered. The receiver is just covered, and the ball just gets loose. That's why they do tip drills in practice.
Wanted Isaiah Foreman, but you're right. Tejeda had him covered well and able to get the deflection and the interception.
Well, you see what basically
Tatum Sakai finally brought him down.
When you throw that quick post, that has to be 1 second throw, and unfortunately it was delayed. That gave him time for the defender to position himself for the interception.
Kennedy starts from its 33. Boy, it's cooled off here. It is a delightful evening in Granada Hills. I know coming in, Paul, it was tough to find a parking spot here. I mean, this is a big crowd on the Kennedy side.
It is. I had some help finding parking thanks to Randy Rosenblum.
Well, if you're El Camino, you need to make another stop. But somehow the Royals, if they're going to get back in the ballgame, need offensive production. And you just can't give the ball back to Kennedy over and over. They're too good offensively. They're going to score again.
Yeah. They are a good football team. There's no question.
Well, the Royals this year, their schedule's interesting. I mean, they have a lot of teams. You look at the schedule and you go, well, I could go either way. So this was a game coming in that they were underdogs. I don't think there was any question about it. But down the road, we mentioned the North Hollywood game. Heritage Christian could be competitive next week. Franklin, which lost last night to Granada Hills, will come to El Camino. They have a great quarterback to Franklin and Cuevas. Speaking of a great quarterback, here goes Montez. Diego Montez again ripping off a big gain. He's finally dropped by Kona Malig and a late flag. Officials conferring.
Play. First down.
Pick up the flag. It's just the first down, but it was a great run indeed by the fine quarterback Diego Montez.
Yeah, again, there's your talent. You can't teach that. That is innate. That's inherent, and you see the skill.
Montez changing field position in a hurry. Now the delay. Sandoval ripping off a big gain. From behind, he's dropped by Mason Lewis. Up from the JV a year ago. Very disruptive defensive performer for the Royals, but he got there late. And Kennedy is marching again.
Again, all on the legs of Montez, basically.
Those two big offensive linemen, James Montez and Kevin Gatewood on the left side of the line, are very good. Diego Montez in trouble, and he's sacked. They finally get to him. 56 got there. That's Emron Wardick, the junior.
You know, and we talked about that earlier in pregame when we were talking to the coaches, and one of the things that we said that basically they have to put pressure on Montez. They have to make him throw the ball and force the pass. and contain him. And if they can do that, they have a chance.
What a bull rush there by 56 Wardak. Nelson having a huge first half. Flag is out.
Holding possibly.
Number 11 is a terrific player for Kennedy. Gio Nelson.
No question.
Kennedy's retreating. This one's coming back.
I didn't see the call.
Legal shift. Kennedy will try it again, wiping out a big gain there.
It's almost as if Kennedy can score at will, or they just get the big gainers. It's nothing methodical about it. Just give the athletes the ball and let them play.
Play they have. Again, 21 first quarter points. Scoreless second quarter to this point. Played 5 minutes and 20 seconds of the second stanza.
Is this a timeout again, or what are they?
No, they're lining up the chain gang on the far sideline after the penalty. So a little bit of a delay to move the sticks, get it back to first and a dozen after the infraction. They just want to make sure. You see that down marker on the far side? They want to make sure it's in the right spot. And they're still moving the sticks on that far sideline.
Well, it appears that the referee's crew is also having first game jitters.
This is difficult as a player waiting on all these delays. They want to make sure, though, that they have the down and distance correctly displayed for the coaches on that far sideline.
It's just an inordinate amount of time for moving the chains.
They're still not set up. And the officials will confirm. The chains appear to be okay at this point. And you can see a conversation going on with the crew. They just want some extra TV exposure, and they're getting it.
Yeah, it's all about the refs and all about the umpires today.
.640 left, second quarter. And again, this now cannot be about the sticks. This has to be another situation that they're chatting about. And I have no idea what it is. It's hard to tell from
And they're not
without
sharing.
an explanation.
They're not sharing.
Well, they're ready to go finally. They do start the clock. It is a first down play. Driving forward is number 26, the fine running back Sandoval. Guy who's maturing. Had injury issues a year ago. But he's healthy this year and having a very nice first half to begin the year.
Yeah, Julian Pasqueta had a chance to drop him for a loss, but couldn't wrap him up.
6 minutes left, so we're at the midway stage of the second quarter. Montez protected well. Nelson, the intended target, at the last moment, breaking it up with Shane Bogaz.
That's what they did last week against Harvard Westlake. He just threw it up, and receivers weren't able to run underneath it. But they worked on that this week, and obviously you're going to see an improvement.
How about the closing speed there from Bogaz, though? It looked like Nelson had a step on him, and when the ball finally got there, Bogaz had easily knocked it away. You'll love that, to see that kind of closing speed. Bogaz was injured much of last year, but he had 4 interceptions in a short period of time. When he's on the field, he makes plays.
And they've got that secondary. They can cover.
Reverse with the football. Number 5, Rhodes, Amari Rhodes, and he's shut down. 56 on defense, making the effort. That's Emran Wardock again.
Yeah, Wardock closed really fast, and he was able to just grab a jersey and pull him down.
Nice job of playing off the block, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's almost how you draw it up.
Fourth down. And very long.
He's going to put it up, is my guess.
There's the deep ball. No good. Nelson was breaking free, but it was errantly thrown, and you can see Gio wanted another one, didn't he? The ball will go on downs to ECR, but you can see Nelson, who already has 2 scores on the night, was thinking I was that close to a hat trick.
He's got plenty of time.
He does. Still nearly 5 minutes to go in the half.
I'll be curious, though, if Kennedy scores again, that they don't start playing, number 2s and 3s to make sure that their big quarterback and receivers don't get hurt.
Handoff, not a whole lot of running room. Kennedy has done a nice job shutting down the ground game to this point. Walker picked up a couple there, but no major creases. Adrian Walker, and again, he's going to get a lot of touches this year for the Royals. Now Kennedy opening up tonight at home against ECR. They have a tough game coming up. They have to play one of the top powers in the city in San Pedro on 8/29. That will not be easy.
Anytime you're playing Marine League teams, that's a tough draw.
Then they got Calabasas on the road and Granada Hills. So they have the schedule in front of them to make some noise.
Well, if they win out, then they're clearly going to dominate the open section of the city. That's going to be a very challenging schedule for them.
Well, they've been up to the task so far tonight. El Camino has the ball. Second down play. Up to the sideline to get the call from Rick Hayashida. And here we go. Again at halftime, we'll have Zabalik talking to Zabalik. Paul chatting with head coach Jason Zabalik and Troy Cassidy and Jason Zabalik, the 2 head coaches, breaking down their 2 football programs. And again, a negative play. And there's number 55, Montez. James Montez. He's a football player.
Well, he's also unblocked. And again, you become an all-world player when you don't get blocked. And they just missed him. They didn't hardly touch him and stop his forward momentum. So he's going to be in the backfield.
I don't know how you miss James Montez. He's 5'9", 2 1/4, had 7 sacks last year, 29 tackles. And again, the defensive lineman of the year in the Valley Mission League. Near miss there. Guy who can stretch the field, and number 16, Jaden Williams, the intended receiver.
Again, got some talent. Jaden Williams can catch the ball, and you know, you get him close to it, he gets a touch, and he's going to be gone. He can play.
Give Kennedy's defense a lot of credit. They've denied El Camino throughout.
Yes, they have.
Took control early. We'll send out the dangerous Bentley Castro. I had 26 catches last season. We haven't seen him on offense all that much.
They didn't need him.
They love him here, though. One of the better players that has played here in a while at Kennedy High School. You talk to Troy Cassidy, he speaks the world of Bentley Castro. Punting time again for ECR.
Be careful with the punt.
Molina cleanly gets it out of harm's way. Castro. Bentley Castro. Across the 50 into Elko territory.
I thought they would have stopped him there. They had two men down under the coverage.
That's where our truck's located tonight, behind the stand. You look at how packed it is on the Kennedy side with the American flag prominently displayed. And you gotta love how they're dressed up. USA, of course, very patriotic times after the Olympics. Great pictures tonight in Granada Hills. The handoff goes to number 3, Justin Sears. And Justin Sears with a big chunk. Justin Sears dropped from behind by Mason Lewis.
That's a very talented offensive line that Kennedy has put together, and you just open holes, and the speed of the backfield just take care of it and takes advantage of that. There's nobody stopping him. There's not even a touch.
Final 90 seconds of the first half, so Kennedy's battling the clock as well as the ECR defense. Up the middle, huge gain and maybe a touchdown. Going in and scoring yet again is Sandoval, his second touchdown of the night.
Again, there's nobody that even touched him. There was just a giant gap in that offensive line.
And the round is on here in the first half. Kennedy 27, El Camino Real nothing.
And as I said, I think you're going to start to see Montez come out. I think you're going to see the various star players come out and let some others take some reps. There's no reason to keep your star players in with the score this high.
Seha's PAT has performed well again. It's a 28-0 ball game. .59 ticks remaining as we take a look at the Sandoval touchdown run.
You and I could have made that run, Randy, and not be touched.
It's been a dominating performance.
Oh.
From start to finish, right out of the gate, they jumped to an early 14-0 lead. And they have not let up. There's been one of the prominent players in Gio Nelson.
He wants more, I know.
Well, you saw him before. He had a ball close to him. He nearly had that third touchdown, and how disappointed he was. And you love that in an athlete, don't you? That
you do.
He wants more. He's not
more.
satisfied.
No, give me more.
Again, and Seha to kick off. Again at halftime, Zabalik and Zabalik. And Troy Cassidy. And it was a pre-recorded interview with the two coaches. And fun to hear the two coaches chat with one another. Two of the nicer guys in the business. in the coaching fraternity. This one is returnable for Parham, but that's good coverage. Sears got down there, number 3.
My guess is you're going to just see them kill the clock now and just run it out. Not risk a fumble or a turnover.
You gotta love the enthusiasm that Sears is playing with. Look at him, he's fired up. He is one pumped up guy. $28-0. 46 seconds left. Opening half. David Molina has piloted the team the entire first half.
Oh my goodness. What's wrong about that?
The deep ball is underthrown.
What is
looking for Cortez. El Camino looking to go vertical.
Coach Ishida, I don't know what's going on.
Well, they have not been able to establish the running game.
No.
They haven't been able to do anything offensively, quite candidly.
Well, that's my point, is that there's not been any consistency in any drive. They run, they throw, they run, they throw. There's no consistency in how they're developing their play calls.
Well, they do have an issue. They're trying to somehow block James Montez, and they haven't been able to do that. And he's disrupted a lot of the potentiality of the El Camino offense. Second down and 10. You can see that it's a clock issue now. Just 38 seconds remaining. First half. That one is caught on the far sideline. Accurate throw there to Chase Jackson.
I guess he didn't go out of bounds. Sure looked like he did.
That was thrown by Mekhi Friedman. So he has come in for the first time, and Friedman completes it.
Yeah.
We expected to see Mekhi. Mentioned it earlier. He's a guy just so eager to learn. Young quarterback, only a 10th grader. Down he goes this time. Number 12 didn't have a chance, did he? And there's that pressure from the interior. 55 is always around the ball, Montez.
Yeah, he is. Again, he's just dominating that defensive line and doing whatever he wants to do with Elko's offense.
Well, that's the end of the first half, and it was a great one for host Kennedy. Up 4 touchdowns. 2 of them from Gio Nelson, 2 of them from Gonzalez. And they are thrilled of what they accomplished in the first 24 minutes.
And again, dominating all-city championship team coming back in, starting the season, and you're seeing it right on your screens.
All right, it's time for our halftime. Jason Zabalik, take it away.
Thank you, Randy, and welcome everybody once again to another year of El Camino Real Royal Football. I am Coach Zabalik, and I'm joined today by the head football coach at Kennedy High School, Mr. Cassidy. Coach Cassidy, how you doing?
Doing good, Coach. Thanks for having me on.
Great to see you, man. Thank you for allowing us to be here. The temperature's come down a little bit. We left the San Fernando Valley. I think it was, pretty close to 100, and we're in the black of the wet bulb globe readings. I don't know if you guys have to deal with that
yes,
here
we do.
on
Every
natural
day.
grass every day.
Yes.
So it's something that we have to deal with nowadays with city section football. We have to measure the heat, temperature, make sure that we're appropriate for the kids' health and safety. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of work that goes into that and making sure that if you need to kick back practices. So you guys you've been okay with the heat?
Yeah, we actually had a couple morning practices at 5:45 a.m. this week to make sure that we can get it in and get the stuff we need to do on the field.
Fantastic. I was done in the spring waking up at 5:30 in the morning, so I'm glad you were able to do it. I'll give it a quick moment, a round of applause for a gentleman that was injured in the first game. That's what you hear the clap and applause for. But anyway, back to the star of the show, which is obviously Granada Hills right now with the temperature the way that it is. Tell me a little bit about your trajectory, Coach, and how you have such numbers right now at Kennedy High School. You got things popping off.
It's just in an environment that's allowed us to recruit on campus and get players to come out. We are seeing more freshmen join every year with us, but we also get a lot that come out sophomore year, and then a lot of guys that have a turnover with us, and it's carrying on year after year. So every year we seem to have more and more players coming out, and it's great because it means more kids are involved in football.
Yeah. No, that's great, and it's always been a neighborhood school. I actually got a chance to coach here back in 2000, 2001 and help my dad with Coach Fran and all of the legendary coaches that came from Kennedy High School. I mean, this was a breeding ground for talent and coaching talent in the San Fernando Valley. I mean, you could talk about it a little bit from your playing days, coming from being a West Valley guy like myself to now being an East Valley guy. So talk to us for a second about your coaching trajectory and how you came up to be here.
So I started coaching really young at Servite High School at 20 years old for Troy Thomas, and I really fell in love with it. I knew I loved the game of football and always figured since I was 15 I would want to be a coach, but once you started doing it, and I really enjoyed being around the game and specifically around the high school game and having a passion for it, and coaching under that staff of Troy Thomas, and then everybody after that, and all the assistants and coordinators I got to learn from, made it really, really enjoyable and allowed me to improve as a coach and take the things that I really like from all of them and mix it in what I like to do as a coach, and which led eventually leading me to my alma mater, Chatsworth High School, and I coached there a couple years, and then eventually led me here to Kennedy, which was an opening of football coach and a teaching job, and I'm glad it's happened because it's just been a great place to work.
Excellent, Coach. And you got a chance to coach with Coach Parker, who came here with you from Chatsworth, and got a chance to coach with Coach Hayashida as well. So it's a pretty incestuous thing here in the Valley, and you live out here for a long enough period of time. We're only a degree of separation away, and a lot of the athletes in the area come back and give back to their communities by going and doing what you're doing, which is obviously a thankless job. But it's always really been about the community. And what's your feeling about the differentiation between West Valley and East Valley now?
It's always good competition when we get to play each other, and so I know that we're going to have tough teams to play in league, so it's really important to schedule teams from the West Valley and get to see really good athletes and really good football players, and a lot of times these players know each other as well because these schools are also close to each other, so it's I really think that the East Valley and West Valley is really intertwined more than people think.
Yeah, no, definitely, I understand. And once again, sometimes it's just a tale of two cities where you have a differentiation of kids and neighborhood kids. You walk into an area around Garfield High School or Roosevelt High School, where those kids go to school. Kennedy's kind of cut from the same cloth. If you're out in Pacoima, you either go to Silmar or San Fernando, whichever side of the track that you're on, and it becomes a very traditional school. And that's one thing that I've always appreciated about Kennedy and my time here at Kennedy and getting to work with all the individuals that I got a chance to be with. I like to call them the dinosaurs. They'll probably get mad at me for that one, but we're going to talk to one here in just a moment. But nonetheless, it's a fantastic way to give back to the community. So give us a little bit of insight to the league this year, Coach. How do you think you guys are going to do things? What do you like your chances?
We always go in respecting all our opponents, always, and we feel there's some going to be some strong teams in our league again, and we had some good battles last year. We obviously hope to come out on top again, but it's going to be focus every week and getting ready to go, and we have to play well on Friday nights because like you said, or like we talked about, there's good football here on this side of the valley.
Yeah, for us, there's no other game besides game one. I can't even worry about the gauntlet that we have to face in the West Valley. And tonight we got to pass a test of I guess a really quality staff and a quality football program. And I commend you for everything that you've done here. It's fun to watch young guys give back. And wish you the best of luck, Coach, for
Coach.
this game, this season, and take it to them.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Two coaches, very friendly. Troy Cassidy has the upper hand right now, and Jason Zabala 28-0 at half. And Jason Zabalik had a chance to talk with Paul Zabalik. We love Zabalik and Zabalik. So let's check in with that conversation.
Well, Coach, another season ahead of us. San Fernando Valley football 2024. A lot of exciting things to look forward to, but as with everybody who wants to know, talk about your field and tell us what's the status and how is it right now?
Well, it's phenomenal, and I'll tell you what, it's been a long time coming, and we finally are back to normal. And I can't tell you how weird normal feels and sounds when it comes to just organizing a practice, or hey, you know what, it's a little bit too hot out right now, we got a delay for an hour, I don't have to worry about lining fields, everything's organized and ready to go. We have all of our equipment right there, so it's been a blessing. It finally feels back to normal, but like I said, it's very weird. We kind of come to our senses at every practice and ask ourselves, wow, that's it, we're done, we don't have to ship things from one place to another, you don't have to kind of battle the environment, so to speak.
And you don't have to line the outfield on the baseball field anymore.
Correct,
either, right?
Correct.
I'm sure Coach Leinhardt appreciates that.
I'm sure he does.
So tell us about the conference. Tell us about the West Valley League, and where do you see it, and where do you put El Camino in that mix?
The West Valley League has come such a far way from even when I played. I mean, you had teams that were middle of the road, and you would always have a team that would rise to the top. And most of the time when I played, it was Taft, and Taft was really on that high pedestal. And it was tough to breach that pedestal until it just kind of finally collapsed, and it changed over one year after another, changing staffs and that nature. But Birmingham is on a roll. They've been on a roll. They're riding a 43-game city win streak, and that just gives notoriety to the conference. I think it tries to make everybody better. They play with that bullseye on their back, and they love it, and they're pretty confident in themselves. And so it's really, I think, a tiered system now in the West Valley League. It just really is. It's just the way that it goes with talent, and how they get all those guys going over the school.
And you've got a couple of new coaches in the league this year at Cleveland and at Taft, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
And the changeover, once again, you see it every couple years. It is unfortunate, but they have to take time to build their own programs. But a couple of those coaches kind of rolled into the programs because they'd already had been at the school previously, and having that relationship with the kids and that buy-in and not having to change too much really helps in the transition period. And one of the things that I did when I first got started is, the team that went to the Division I city championship, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. They've been to the highest game that they could make in their world in that season. So, having a less of a change for those guys has been pretty good for them. And so they've looked pretty good. We just had our media day the other day, and, their kids that they brought to the table were pretty impressive. So, we got to hold our own.
So tell me about some of your players. Tell me about some of the new transfers. Tell me about some of the returners and what you see in their future.
What I've seen this year, more so than not, is competition. And I think a lot of it has to do with being on a field and having landmarks and knowledge of where you're at spatially to give them that confidence to play better, to play faster. We didn't play fast last year. We didn't play hard last year, and I get it, that took its toll on them mentally and physically, but now I've seen more kids flying around than not. So I think it has allowed them to play freer and a little bit more up for the task to put in a good effort against these schools.
Now, you got a couple of transfers into the program. As a matter of fact, one of your transfers from the old 2021 championship team.
Yep.
How's that going to fit in?
So basically we got Rafa Cortez back, and basically we got our guy. He started for us as a freshman. He caught 7 touchdown passes, 2 in the city championship game, and I mean, he's just a human vacuum cleaner. I mean, that kid is the epitome of hard work and work ethic, and he's recovered from so much and battled adversity, and he just pushes through day to day. Having him back, we also have a couple of guys at quarterback. Our JV call-ups and David Molina and Makai Friedman are battling against a incoming transfer from Cleveland, Arturo Acevedo, for the quarterback position. So I've seen the level of game at that position rise, because now there's competition. At running back, Adrian Walker, Nick Genovese, Kona Malig, Javon Cogwa, they all share time. They're great athletes. We're fighting in a backfield to make each other better. The line will be a little bit of patchwork. We did get a lineman in Ethan Perez, who we're very excited about. We started both ways. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get him cleared, but he'll be exciting to watch throughout the year.
Well, very good, Coach. And again, I wish you the best of luck. It's going to be an exciting season. I'm excited to be at the field again. Being at Kennedy brought back some old memories, and I'm sure there's some memories in your mind too a little bit. But again, thank you for this, and again, good luck and success.
Thank you. It's funny how it all comes back to Bear, where it all first started in the coaching career, getting to coach with you and Coach Francola and Coach Grimes and all the old, as I like to call, dinosaurs. But that's how we learned football as young individuals in the city. So I appreciate being able to be here on the first night and being here with you.
Great. Again, good luck.
Thank you.
Well, he's going to need some good fortune in the second half. It's 28-0. You can see ECR's getting warmed up for the back half. Some highlights, and it's exclusively Kennedy. They dominated the first few minutes of the game, bolted to an early lead, and it all started with a brilliant kick return by number 5, Amari Rhodes.
Yeah, again, you have breakdown of special teams, and it's going to give you that momentum. Once you get that surge, it's hard to not dominate with that. And here's Montez, and he's just opening it up and just going downfield. I mean, again, that's what he does.
Gio Nelson taking in one of his 2 touchdowns. Again, the defense creating a mistake, the turnover, the fumble, and Kennedy was able to capitalize throughout the first half. Here's a pick that was beautifully done by Tejeda, number 4.
Right, so you got a fumble, you got an interception, you got a run back. All those are just big plays, and it basically just.
And here's the capper in the half, Gonzalez's second touchdown run, 28-0 as we are set for the second half. If you're El Camino Real, what do you want to try to establish here in the back half?
Well, as I just said earlier in the broadcast, Coach Hayashida has to start developing a run game. He's got to keep the ball on the ground to get some momentum and get some movement on that offensive line. That then will open up the passing lanes. Right now, he's throwing the ball, and there's nobody. I mean, there's no passing lanes to speak about. And I'm surprised that Coach Hayashida hasn't started developing at least a consistent run game.
I believe the one bright spot would be Cortez, the wide receiver. Rafa had 3 catches, didn't break anything. They didn't really open up anything for the ECR offense. They didn't have a ground game, but Cortez did make 3 nice catches, and he appears to be someone they can build on in the passing game.
Well, again, he is a known quantity. He played on the championship team. He was part of that winning record. He was part of that winning attitude, and sadly, he left campus. They had no field, and they lost a lot of kids on transfers because they saw that they didn't have a home field to play on, and didn't have one for 3 years. So there has to be something said about that. And when kids leave and they transfer, they're looking out for themselves. They're looking out for their best interest. And when you don't see the support at your home school, now Cortez saw it. He's back. There's a field now, and he's going to build on that momentum.
Both these teams in recent years have won city titles. Kennedy in 2022 had their first championship ever. They got a win over Panorama in dramatic fashion, winning by 1. So Troy Cassidy has a city title. Obviously, Jason Zabalik won a championship a few years ago. Although he's not thinking about it now, I think he's probably pretty disappointed with that first half.
Yeah, you have to be. And a head coach, the toughest job is when you are down. You've got to keep a positive attitude. You've got to look at your kids and say, we can come back. We've got to develop some consistency. We will come back. We get better. Each play is better. And that's the attitude he's got to project, and he does that. He's a very positive individual. I'm impressed with all the adversity they've faced the last 3 years, and they've been able to come through it and keep the program lively and building on it.
I think the one thing he has to try to establish here in the second half is some consistency and competitiveness. He was taken to the woodshed in that first half. So, it's 28-0. Crazier things have happened. We'll see how they get it put back together here in the back half, and see as they start with the football if they can establish some kind of offense.
And again, I would project that El Camino will, that Kennedy will start to to move different players around and start substituting players and take their stars off the field when the score is what it is.
Well, running clock is 35 points in city football, so that's something to keep in mind. You never want to think about that if you're El Camino. You want to come back and try to rally and win the game, but on the flip side, Kennedy knows if they can get above a 35-point lead, it's a running clock, and this game could be over quickly. So we're just about set for the second half. Once again, Francisco Ceja, who's been productive on all the kicks tonight for Kennedy, has it teed up and ready to go, or about to have it teed up. Here we go. They put an extra few minutes on the clock to let the young men warm up. See, we're down to the triple digits, then to 12 minutes, and we're ready to go. Second half is underway. Returning it is Parham. Sears brought him down, and he had an assisting tackle with him by Damian Hernandez. So you think, forget the 28-0, try to establish your ground game here.
It's a new game right now. Second half starts, it's 0-0, and you just move forward from there. Again, I'm curious to see what Coach Haishid is going to call here, and whether or not he's going to stay throwing the ball, which has been very ineffective, and in his ground game, he hasn't been able to establish a consistency with the run.
Haven't seen Nick Genovese in the backfield at all, really. He's number 2. He's a very impressive football player, middle linebacker and running back for the Elko team. Start with an Adrian Walker run. Good job of bouncing to the outside. Finally dropped by Javon Carter.
Yeah, he made 5 yards, and again, that's what they need to be able to do. Get 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards, and then maybe throw one.
It is Mekhi Friedman, who is the quarterback in the last series of downs for ECR. Again, just a 10th grader. 6'2" and 155 pounds, so you can see that he's slight of build. Got some height, probably needs to gain some weight.
That'll come.
It will as he matures. First possession of the third quarter for the Royals. Tackled for a loss, and again it's 55. James Montez, who's been a tower of strength, dropping the running back,
and again
for a loss.
Unblocked.
Adrian Walker had no chance.
Not when you're hitting the backfield and you penetrate those 3 yards, and no one's blocking you. You're going to make the play.
Again, 50 and 55 on that defense are absolute studs, and they have been a thorn on the side of El Camino Real. Third down play. Friedman will probably go up top. See if he can coordinate a throw to number 19. They've been chatting there in Cortez. That's where he's looking. Throws it inside to Foreman. And that play did not fool Kennedy at all. Francisco Ceja read it perfectly. And it's 4th down, and here comes the kicking team, and again, El Camino Real is denied.
2 runs and a pass. And the second run made no yardage at all. He was hitting the backfield. Couldn't even get momentum.
So the punt is coming for El Camino. I don't remember a first down for the Royals. Do you?
They don't.
I don't know if they have.
They
one.
had a couple first downs.
Did they? I don't remember them.
Second quarter.
Yeah, a couple passes to Cortez. You're correct. Punt is away and picked up by Castro. Bentley Castro running into El Camino territory.
Pesqueda.
So Kennedy starting again in ECR territory.
Yeah, well, again, if Montez is out there, they're going to go for the score, and you'll see some momentum change.
Well, Diego remains in at quarterback. He had 57% of his passes last year for over 1,800 yards. Threw for 14 touchdowns. He ran for 9 scores a year ago. That's why he was all city. Tremendous talent. That time he misses Nelson. 2nd and 10.
Again, if you can just pressure him and just let him throw it up.
You like his leadership. You see he's communicating out there. He's trying to get everybody on the same page.
Yeah. Again, that's a city section championship quarterback.
He did lead them to the Valley Mission title a year ago. They have higher aspirations this year. Gonzalez. Nice run inside the 45 of Elko. And again, it's a dust bowl.
Ferrelli made the tackle, and actually he was made penetration on the defensive line.
3rd down, call it 6.
The offense.
False start will back them up. Make the chore a little bit more difficult on 3rd down. Third and close to 11 to go. Nelson breaks away, gets the 1st down. Gio Nelson down the sideline. Spectacular play.
3 missed tackles. 3 missed tackles. And again, that makes a great receiver, and he's able to break those tackles. And you see the result. He gets wide open, and you can see it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 missed tackles. And that's athletic ability. That's what takes you to the next level.
He is elusive. You know, we talked about it. He really wants that 3rd touchdown, doesn't he?
And he's working on it. And he's working on it.
So Kennedy threatening yet again. End around. Touchdown. Joshua Gonzalez. So it's 34-0 as Joshua Gonzalez comes around and scores.
And there was no contain on the outside. They collapsed the entire right side of the El Camino defensive line, and no linebacker was able to slip out and make the play.
This one is coming back, though. I think that's going to get wiped out. No touchdown. Take it off the board. Late flag. You can see the yellow hanky. So it's back to 28-0. Wiping out the run of Joshua Gonzalez, the JV MVP last year at Kennedy. High snap. But
same play.
Gonzalez has it.
This time they collapsed it.
They really did. Nice job on the perimeter by the Royals. Inside of 8 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. Kennedy's had the touchdown call back. They still have some homework to do offensively. Really like the leadership of his quarterback, number 8, Diego Montez, and he's only a junior. He's going to be around for a while. Another high snap. That's a great tackle in the open field, and it's incomplete. That pop freed the ball when it looked like there was going to be some room for Justin Sears.
That was an excellent tackle. I mean, when you see this, this is textbook. Puts the shoulder down, wraps up.
Elias Melendez did it well, didn't it?
Very well done. Again, you can't draw it up any better than that.
Well, yet again, Kennedy trying to open it up and overcome down in distance. Sears with a hole. Good run by Justin Sears.
It's almost a success when he doesn't score a touchdown. They do make the tackle. It's, you know,
that offensive line has done a nice job for Kennedy High School.
They're averaging about 250 pounds across the front of that offensive line. So they've got some beefs and some real power up front.
Well, Seha's going to come on, look to kick the field goal on 4th down. He's been successful on 4 consecutive PATs. Let's see how he does on the short field goal. And he's got it. That builds the lead to 31-0.
Yeah, football coaches are recruiting soccer kickers today.
And he is a soccer player. And he is a weapon. And you think, again, with their schedule, and they're making it look easy here tonight. But, Paul, as you know, they're going to have some tight games down the road. And he could be a weapon.
Well, you know, again, the kicker does make a difference. I mean, when you're down 1 point or 2 points and you can kick it from that distance and accuracy, that is truly an offensive weapon.
Yeah, he doesn't have a tremendous leg. He's got a good leg, but he's accurate.
Yeah. Again, the kicking game, special teams, Randy, is 1/3 of any football team. And when you don't take that seriously, you run the risk of losing games you shouldn't lose.
In some respects, it's been more than that tonight. Remember, they got jump started with some onside kicks. They recovered one of them.
Exactly. And the run back. And I mean, again, mistakes. And again, you expect that from a young team. And the good thing about that is that Elko can only get better.
31-0 Kennedy. Seha with the deep kick. One is being returned by Jaden Williams. He's got those long strides. Wonderful work there by Jaden.
Good return.
Yeah, Jaden Williams is a guy who's got the speed, stretches the field, can take the roof off, the coach said.
He has the athletic ability to do that.
Well, did they pick up the flag, or is there a penalty? That's the question. I think they might be bringing this one back.
I think they called a clip that really wasn't.
Return
block
team.
in the back. Yeah,
Number 2.
I didn't see that. It didn't look like a block in the back. He barely touched the defender.
Well, from good field position, once again, El Camino Real will be backed up. Just above 6 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Kennedy is added to its lead, and they're up 31-0. Friedman is still piloting the team. Of course, it's a learning experience for him. There's Walker, who has been and will be, for the most part, one would think this year, the workhorse.
Yeah. Again, you basically going to take those younger players and you're going to develop them. This is the time they did do that. This is not going to be the championship year for El Camino, but this is the building year.
Well, he's greatly improved, Adrian Walker. He's only a junior, had a lot of snaps last season. And they really think he's had a breakthrough training camp and is ready to go. That one's no good. Intended for Lincoln Elbert. Someone a little bit rushed by Mackay. It's 3rd down.
Against the offense.
You know, they gained 5 yards on that one run, and now he went to throw the ball. Again, Coach Highsheet is not setting up any kind of consistent offensive pattern. I'm surprised, actually, to see that.
Well, once again, El Camino Real retreating. I didn't see the flag go down, but they backed them up. It is a learning experience for the sophomore Mekhi Friedman. Mentioned it early. He's very eager to learn. He was in a close battle with David Molina for the starting role. Then the transfer came in, and we'll see him later in the year. Arturo Acevedo, who they love. Friedman out of the gun. Wanted Cortez, missed him. There really been nothing available. No one's open. See the coaching staff of the Cougars looking at the plays. Whatever they're doing it right. They got it on that pad there, and running back and adjusting the different formations offensively. And that defense is stymied El Camino Real.
It's the old days. We had to draw it in the dirt.
Not anymore. Everything is high technology. Mekhi Friedman again. Another third down play. Picked off. This one's coming back for Kennedy High School. Touchdown. Javon Carter, the free safety. So a golden moment for a golden Cougar, Javon Carter.
Bad throw, bad play call.
Bad scoreboard for ECR.
Yeah. Again, what can go wrong will go wrong, Randy.
And for that sideline, exuberance, excitement, joy. Well, the reliable Seha back on for the point after.
Another mistake. Again, add them up. 5 mistakes, 6 mistakes, and that's the difference in the game.
Carter's pick 6 is build it to 37-0. High snap. Seha had no chance. Stopped by Takai Campbell. And it was the errant snap that derailed the play. The touchdown, the pick. Carter in the right place at the right time.
Again, not just a bad throw. I mean, he just didn't get it over the head of the defender. I mean, you just can't throw the ball up like that and expect good things to happen.
Well, whatever they saw on the pad was right. And at the pad, looking at the formations of El Camino Real, the adjustments defensively worked.
If you remember old Coach John McKay for USC back in the 1960s, he said 3 things happen when you can throw the football and 2 are bad.
Yep.
And that was one of them that you just saw.
Complete interception. One good thing, obviously, is to make a catch.
Yeah, but that's 1 out of 3.
Yep.
You know?
John McKay was the guy who had a delightful personality. Did a great job at USC. Led him to national titles. Had his own TV show in LA at one point. He had a coach's show that was very popular. Well, ready to kick off yet again is Francisco Seha. Ball's on the ground. Williams dropped it. Picked up by Parham, and he's buried.
You know, I had the privilege of being recruited by USC before I chose Washington. And when you go down and meet Coach McKay, he had a booth at Julie's restaurant.
Yeah, he did.
And they were recruiting players. Each had their recruiting coach with them, and you sat in your booth, and then you had your moment with Coach McKay. And with me, he flipped over his mat, his dinner mat, and drew a picture of the United States and said, we recruit here in Southern California. And he drew a circle around the LA area, and he said, Notre Dame recruits all around this country. And he colored it in, and he said, can you beat Notre Dame? That was his recruiting question.
And your answer?
Well, of course. Yes, sir. Absolutely. I never forgot that.
Why'd you go to Washington?
It's a long story. How much time you got?
Well, we may have some time. It's 37-0. And Walker again is bottled up. And the 4:20 left in the third. All Kennedy Cougars tonight in Granada Hills. Well, why'd you go to Washington?
Well, I had to basically leave Los Angeles for a while. And
Tell me where you played high school ball.
I played high school ball at LA Poly, Sun Valley, then went to Valley Junior College.
Had a great career there, right?
I did. I played, got lucky, and got a lot of opportunities to go on to other schools. And Washington was the only school that played in the Rose Bowl in the 60s other than SC or UCLA. And I think Oregon State was once. But I wanted to play in the Rose Bowl, but I needed to move out of LA. And Washington was the choice.
Don James was a great coach.
Yeah, but it was Jim Owens when I was there.
Well, you didn't play with James at all, huh? There's another one that's deflected, nearly picked.
No, but I had the opportunity of helping Washington recruit in the San Fernando Valley. I would go to high school games, and I get their A-list players, and had the privilege of Coach James coming to my home and presenting me with the Rose Bowl ring, Rose Bowl watch from 1991 championship, and he's the one who taught me that football's 3 parts.
Well, you had to be proud. Washington going to the national finals last year, losing to Michigan, but runner-up nationally is not too bad, is it?
Yeah, but Michigan's always been a thorn in Washington's side. When we played my senior year in East Lansing for Michigan State, and the following weekend in Michigan and Ann Arbor. It was a tough 2 days, tough 2 weeks.
Well, it's been a tough night for Elko. Let's see if they can get it going here. No good. Thrown behind Williams. Again, this is a young quarterback, a 10th grader, Mekhi Friedman, trying to move the football team. And El Camino Royale has been just stopped completely tonight by a very aggressive Kennedy defense.
It's not a running clock, by the way.
It will be when they get to the 4th quarter.
Oh.
One would think. It's supposed to be after 35 points. El Camino Royale punting it away again. Kennedy's going to have another short field. They'll start from their 49. Makes life a lot easier when you're starting where they've started tonight.
Yeah.
First possession of the game, they get the big return. Spectacular run back by Amari Rhodes. And they started from inside the El Camino 5. Gonzalez took it in on the first play. They have not looked back.
Yeah. And again, I'm surprised to see Montez in there.
Well, if you're Troy Cassidy, it's the first game. You want to make sure you're sharp. They have a big game with San Pedro upcoming. So I'm sure he wants to make sure that he gets his players enough downs to feel like they're prepared for a very fine Pirate team. He's ranked in the top 5 in the city. We do have a change at quarterback. Yeah. You hit it on the head. Jacob Andrade is checked in. He's their backup, the sophomore. He's 5'7" and 155 pounds.
That's a good call on the part of Coach Cassidy.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
False start costs them 5. No surprise. You got a new quarterback. You have some issues.
Yeah.
Especially first game of the year. 37-0 here in the 3rd quarter. Just above 3 minutes to play. Trujillo. Nice run. Martin Trujillo, the backup running back.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Cassidy is now going to be substituting and getting his other players some game time.
Second-year varsity player is Martin Trujillo. He did participate a season ago. Second down and very short. Trujillo again. Fighting hard. Looks like he's got a first down. in the waiting arms of Mason Lewis. See if they give him enough yardage for the first down. It's going to be close.
He's also substituted some offensive linemen, which is a good sign.
They're going to spot him a few inches short. It's third down. So it's third and less than one. Sears is in the backfield, number 3, Justin Sears. Flag comes out to blow the play dead. Another false start.
Well, again, they've substituted players now, so you're going to start to see that because it's going to
Number 84.
it's going to change the momentum a little bit. It's not going to affect the score, but it's going to give these younger players a chance to get some field time.
Again, Troy Cassidy now looking at his roster. I thought he might keep his team in there intact through the third quarter, but he's going to those reserves now.
Well, he's going to give them some playing time because when they come up against San Pedro and they come up against some of those tougher teams, they're going to need these backups that are going to be able to play. And then, God forbid, somebody gets hurt and these kids have to step in.
Sure.
That they need this kind of opportunity when you have a big score. This is when you let your number 2s play. And you give them some real good coaching and good playing experience. I'm very happy to see that. Coach Cassidy is doing a good job with this.
There you can see the large throng on hand here. I always get nervous when the cheerleaders go into those pyramid formations. Happy she was successful, I might add.
So you don't want to hear any more Michigan stories?
No. That's run its course.
How about Ohio State?
No. We'll keep it right here.
All right, good. I don't want to embarrass myself anymore.
No, you're fine. Third down. 6 to go. Andrade to the air. Driving forward is Carter. That's Jaden Carter, the 14-year-old.
Very good. He made it. First down.
What a future, huh?
He didn't want to quit. I mean, did you see his leg drive?
He's a big kid at 6'2". He's 180 pounds already.
He had 2 people hanging on him.
Didn't get the first down. You mentioned it.
Yeah.
And here you're developing a backup quarterback in Andrade as well.
But you only have a junior quarterback in Montez, and he's coming back anyway.
Yeah, but you want the backup just in case.
You got to have it. Got to.
This is only a sophomore who's throwing it here. And had a lot of hang time to it. It was in the air a long time for Amari Rhodes. Not a whole lot, but he brought it down. Nice catch by Rhodes going up the imaginary ladder. Minute to go in the third. It was 28-0 at a halftime. So as you can see, Kennedy has added 9 points here in the third. Actually a loss of a yard. Second down and 11. Screen to Sears. Spinning away. Justin Sears. Nice job by Sears. Positive play. And not much there at the beginning. Boy, he made a nice spinning move to get positive yardage for the Cougars.
Again, that's what, you want to see that in a receiver because that is what, that's hard to coach. You got to have instinct to be able to do that. And that's exactly what you see here. Great move. Great reception.
They're down and 4. Final play of the quarter. Up the middle. First down and a lot more. Running hard is Martin Trujillo. He's on his way. Touchdown, Kennedy High School. First stringers, second stringers, doesn't matter.
No. Talent is talent is talent.
What a night for Kennedy. That takes it to 43-0. And they want more.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a track meet for the Cougars. Oh, I think they're going to take this one back. They're going to take this one away from the Cougars and Trujillo.
What was it called? Holding?
That's the last play of the quarter. So we're through 3, and it's back to 37-0. I feel bad for Martin Trujillo, who made a great run.
Yeah,
The offense. Time has expired during the quarter. We'll enforce a penalty. Fourth quarter.
Again, I didn't get the ref's call.
So we're through 3 quarters. It's 37-0. We erase the touchdown run. Well, the team's on the sideline because it's through the third quarter. We're getting a little bit of a timeout here, as you can see, end of the third quarter. So we'll have Kennedy finally come back onto the playing surface.
Did you get the call for?
No, I'd probably hold, but we're a long way from the field, and that it was the last play of the quarter, and they didn't really signal. You can see they're still talking about it. And they're waving them off because, again, they're in between quarters. You're right. It's the first game of the year, and it's not that the officiating has been good or bad. It's been indecisive.
Mm-hmm. Well, again,
their calls may be right. They're just taking a long time.
They're probably a new crew too, and they're learning as they're going. So,
and again, I'm not saying the calls are incorrect. It's just that they're very slow in delivering them.
Yeah. Well, there seems to be a call by committee.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the game I went to last night, the Mater Dei Corona Centennial game, was nearly 3 hours.
Wow.
Took nearly 3 hours. Let's see this one tonight. Well, we're doing better. It's 2 hours. Just under 2. So from the 46 of ECR, let's try it again. Well, Martin Trujillo he's running hard, isn't he? He's taking the whole group with him.
He is that. Again,
you got to love that.
He is not to be denied.
Yeah, number 9's a football player. They took my touchdown away. Coach, I want the ball back.
Not to be denied. You love seeing that in an athlete. You just, no quit in this person. He's got 2, 3, 4 people stopping him, and he's still moving forward.
In a running back, one of the things you love is leg drive, and this kid's got leg drive.
Well, I can relate to that. I was a fullback in high school, and my only touchdown was against North Hollywood.
Don't rub it in. You know where I went to school. You've been waiting to just dig me with that, right?
I couldn't wait for that one. I had to say it. It was biting my tongue.
Speaking of North Hollywood, they'll be our next telecast. September 6th, a couple weeks from tonight. Up the middle, Trujillo again. That time he's met at the point of attack. Good job defensively by Takia Campbell.
Counter. Get him. Kennedy runs that very well, by the way.
It was a first down play. The previous run by Trujillo gave him a first down. Kennedy looking to score. They're still playing hard. They're at the Elko 35.5-yard line.
Yeah, they went behind Jacob Garcia, 280 pounds, number 77, just a load. When he pulls, you just want to get out of his way.
This is a broken play. That's you're naked out there at that time. Jacob Andrade had no chance. The handoff wasn't there. He looked up. There was no real throw available for him, and he's in no man's land.
This continues to give Elko a little bit of hope. I mean, you want to keep him there. You don't want to let him score again, and you want to try to get a couple points on the board yourself now.
Yeah, a lot of pride at stake here. Justin Sears back in, number 3. On 3rd down and a dozen.
Last time they did this, they ran the ball. No, this time they ran it, throw it.
Andrade in trouble, and down he goes. Tremendous rush from the outside from Nick Genovese.
Yeah, again, Nick was unblocked. I mean, again, when you're unblocked, you need to make these plays. And Nick was able to pull that off. I think that's the first time we called his number defensively.
Yeah, he's one of the better players on the El Camino team, and this is a terrific effort.
Just comes in unblocked.
So on 4th down and very long, it's the punting unit. It's out there for Kennedy High School.
What you saw with Genovese that time is the sending Montez happens. When Kennedy's defensive line, you get untouched, you got to make that play.
On the offense.
Legal substitution costs Kennedy some yardage, but doesn't matter. They're going to punt it anyway. See if Elko can get some advantageous field position here. Again, really, there's no intrigue who's going to win the game. Just want to see if Elko can get on the board, not get shut out in their opener. Roberto De La Cruz punting it away. Great coverage. No chance for Parham.
Nope. Again, Kennedy's coverage downfield has been very, very good on special teams.
Yeah, Tejeda got down there in a hurry. Number 4. So just above 8 minutes to go. Let's see if Elko can somehow put together a drive.
I think they're going to end up throwing the ball. But I'd sure like to see that run. The run game they had last week worked very well. I'm really surprised to not see it tonight.
Again, that was a scrimmage win over Oak Park.
Right. Southern section team, and they played well. This was a total collapse tonight.
Mackay Freeman, who's quarterbacked all the way here in the second half. David Molina was the QB in the opening half. On the run, misses the target. Unfortunately, Donovan Carrillo was going outside, and the ball was thrown inside.
Again, that's coordination. That's just timing. That's just work, practice, practice, practice.
Well, Paul's going to be fun this year. I know it's been kind of a lethargic start, to say the least, for Elko here, but we've got games coming up.
Expected. It wasn't anything we didn't expect.
Well, we thought Kennedy would have the upper hand here, but we did think it would be more competitive.
I think, as a matter of fact, you called the score. You said 37, I believe, didn't you?
No, I said 34-13.
Oh, excuse me, you were wrong.
It won't be the last time.
Yeah, but you're close. It's horseshoes and hand grenades, right?
Yep. Here's the run right up the middle.
Yeah, again, they need to do that. That's the consistency that they've lacked tonight.
It was Kona Malik who ran it, and he had a 100-yard game last season, was great against Taft. He was ridden down by Roberto De La Cruz.
Keep doing this. Keep doing this.
Again, you're playing really for next week. Again, you want to coordinate an offense.
Oh, my goodness, they're throwing it again.
Well, that one's caught.
Yeah.
And it's a first down to Cortez. First catch of the second half, 4th of the night.
My old friend Fred Grimes, as a head coach, used to teach me that you keep doing what you're doing until they stop you, and when they stop you, you go do something else.
And again, to be fair, these are backups against backups now. So the first time for many of these guys out on the field. There's a pass thrown down low to the ground and caught. Again, there's the 5th catch of the night for Cortez. He's probably going to catch 50 or 60 passes this year if he stays healthy.
Well, they just got to get him the ball quicker. They're taking too much time to deliver the pass to him. He's open, and they're just taking too much time.
He was good when we saw him as a young pup, but after a couple of years at St. Genevieve, he has really grown up.
Mm-hmm.
Very mature player. 5.5 minutes remains and a Kennedy route. Pressure on the quarterback. It's underthrown and nearly intercepted. Wanted Williams, but again, when you put that kind of heat on the QB, That was not an easy delivery at all for Mekhi Friedman.
No. And the one thing about Rafa Cortez, and he was at St. Genevieve's, he played for Coach Billy Parra. Billy Parra was a wide receiver and a coach with us here at Kennedy back in the early 2000s. And Coach Parra has been a very talented receivers coach when he was a position coach. And Rafa Cortez had the opportunity to work with him over the last year or two.
Under 5 minutes to play. You see the clock is running even though it's the incompleted pass because it's above a 35-point lead. Friedman again, this time great protection, going underneath and hitting his target, Donovan Carrillo.
Yeah, again.
Late flag as he went out of bounds.
Late hit.
That was executed very well.
Well, I think it's because he fumbled the ball. He was delayed a little bit and allowed the receiver to get open. You see him, he fumbled the ball when he fumbled the snap a little bit.
Personal foul against the defense. First down.
And some extra yards
Was it
added on.
late hit? What
Yep.
What do you call?
Out of bounds, late hit.
Just gave him enough little time to break open.
Right there. There's the late hit. Not a whole lot there against Jordan Banuelos, but they called the flag.
He's open.
There's the pass downfield. Missed him.
Oh, my goodness.
Rafa was available, and he was overthrown.
You saw him. He was wide open.
What I liked about that on the play, though, is Mekhi showed us some ability to get out of the pocket.
Again, he's a young player.
Yeah, again, 10th grader.
He's got the height. He's got the range. He'll grow more in the next year or two.
And he loves the game.
Yeah. Again, like I said, the best thing about this is that El Camino it can only improve.
Well, maybe the best thing is Arturo Acevedo, who they're very high on, will be available next week, one would imagine, against Heritage Christian. Another deep ball.
Wide open.
Underthrown and caught. Coming back to get it is Cortez again.
Yeah, he was that
First and goal, El Camino Royale.
same pattern as last one, the last play. I mean, again, he was open twice.
Catch number 6 for Rafa.
Yep. He came back to the ball.
Well, we haven't said that very much tonight at all. None. First and goal for the first time.
They got to get on the board here.
And that clock's moving down to 2:20. It's running because there's a 37-point lead. Here's Kona Malik trying to get in. He's denied. Good tackle indeed by number 44, Matthew Padilla. Playing the Mike spot now, the middle linebacker.
What are they on the 5-yard line? I can't see that.
Boy, it's a dust bowl again. God, I like this facility, though. You know, a lot of people, you come in here, you know, some of the newer stadiums have, you know, the artificial turf. Things look, you know, really cool. But here you come in, it's real football. It's old school football. It's 70s football, the way it looks. The dust flies. You just get that sense you're in a hard-nosed football game. You got to think Kona Malik, right? Number 3?
Keep it on the ground.
Friedman is drilled. Faked it to Kona. He had no chance. And 63 for Kennedy was right there. That's Andres Campos.
Wrong read. He should have given it.
Of course, you're Kennedy. You want to pitch the shutout, and so they're going to play really hard. They're not going to give up the ground game easily. You see this hit.
Yeah, but he should have given it.
63.
He read it wrong. He should have handed it off.
In hindsight, definitely. Pass incomplete. Oh, this would be disappointing if they don't get one in here. You can see that guy came to the sideline, the 10th grader, Mekhi Friedman. Just 155 pounds, so you know they're going to add some weight on him. And a great experience to get this many reps, this many downs as the second teamer tonight. Again, he's retreating. That one's knocked away and nearly intercepted into and out of the hands of the defender downfield. Real close to a pick. Victor Hamamilo had a chance to intercept it, as did Roberto de la Cruz. And the ball will go over on downs, I believe. The clock will run out. It's a running clock, so they don't have to snap it again. So we're down to 20 seconds. This is going to be your final score. 37-0 will be the final total. A great first game for the Kennedy Golden Cougars.
Big win for Kennedy. Again, a momentum builder for them. They're going into a tough part of their schedule. And again, for El Camino, a lesson. This is, again, where you start to improve from tonight. Tomorrow is the next day for the rest of your life, and you start to do things different. You start to see where you need to improve, you fix things, and you get ready for Heritage Christian.
Well, the one thing certainly that comes to mind is they're going to have their quarterback, at least they hope, figure to have Acevedo available next week against Heritage Christian. Going forward, they should be more productive offensively. You never want to get shut out, but it is the first game of the year, and a lot of things will change from the start to the end. We've seen El Camino teams start slowly and really come on at the end of the year over the years. But for the Kennedy Golden Cougars, they came into the year after 8 wins a year ago. They want to make a D1 run. They may be good enough to get to the Open Division. Who knows? But the goal of this team, the brown and gold, they want to make a deep run in D1. That's their immediate goal. Want to get through the Valley Mission League, and I think they have the firepower and what we saw defensively to go with that firepower. They're a definite threat.
Well, there's no question about it. Again, they're going to be the Mission League team to beat. But again, they're coming into a very tough part of their schedule. I mean, they're going down, and I believe they're going to be playing in San Pedro against a Marine League team that is known to be a dominant force in not only in that league, but in the city and the city championship playoffs most of the years. And you know, so tonight, yes, enjoy the win. Look at what you've accomplished. Their key players only played roughly in the first half, and they're going to see what's to come.
So it's 37-0. And you're right about San Pedro. One of the top-ranked teams in the city this year. They're in the top 5. So that will be a situation where Kennedy will be an underdog. Heritage Christian is what's in front of El Camino Real. That is next week. We'll join you in 2 weeks from El Camino Real, North Hollywood, the Huskies, and the Royals of El Camino. As we go out, we take a look at that Gonzalez opening touchdown, and they piled it on from there. That was the first score of the night. Early on, here you see a pick 6 by Carter. Number 12, he takes it in. Great job there by Javon Carter. They were the dominant force, the Kennedy Golden Cougars. Paul, it was a pleasure. As always, we'll see you at El Camino in 2 weeks.
You have it, Randy. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank our beautiful crew from LA36. Great job tonight. Great pictures. We'll see you in a few weeks. 37-0. Kennedy, too good tonight. We'll say goodnight from Granada Hills.
You're watching LA36, television dedicated to lifelong learning.